Hey guys, I'm here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing you all another video. Today I want to show you my top 10 favorite thrift store vinyl finds. If you've watched my channel for a while, or maybe this is even the way that you found me through these videos because they've been popular, I have posted and talked about time and time again different videos and even filmed myself going into thrift stores and kind of doing my vinyl hunt. I talk about thrift store record hunting all the time, or at least I did pre-COVID. I've been lucky. And people have asked me in the past, how do you find this? When I go, it's Christmas records and just pure crap. And I tell them, that's what I get too. That's what I get 97% of the time when I go to a record store. It's nothing. And it's just terrible. And nothing's there, and I waste hours and hours driving all around all the different thrift stores and coming away with nothing. I enjoy that. Of course, you know, you feel a little defeated. You're probably thinking, no, you don't. But I love the hunt because there's no better feeling than the 10th day in a row you're going back and they bring out a big cart of records and you get some cool stuff. That's a true story. I'll tell you soon. I know that prices differ from place to place and what stores you're going to. I'm lucky because the thrift store is near me, and all of the stores within like a 30-mile radius of me where I found these records, all of the records were $1.99. I swear on my Cheap Trick collection, my record collection, 100% $1. And that's what makes this even more fun sharing with you all, because all of these records I'm going to show you, $1.99, swear. Here are my top 10 favorite finds in no particular order. First find, yes, $1. This is Little Walter, Hate to See You Go. This is a compilation album in mono, I believe from 1969 this came out. And this was part of the Chess Vintage series. And of course, when I first saw this, there were a new batch coming in and there was a bunch of different kind of records in there, and I was flipping through, and of course, this stands out to you. I mean, look at that cover. It's going to stand out to you. I had heard of Little Walter, but I was not familiar with him, and of course I did some research and learned that he was a Chicago bluesman, and I was getting into the blues at the time, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick this up for $1. I mean, the condition was great, so I'm going to pick that up for $1. I mean, look at this. Only a little bit of ring wear at the top. Yeah. And then, of course, now I'm sitting here just thanking myself for grabbing this because I absolutely adore Little Walter and the blues and Chicago blues and all of the above. So this is a wonderful addition to my collection, 100%. And again, this was found at a thrift store for $1. You cannot beat that. This is a hard compilation to come by in this condition for a reasonable price. So, fantastic find, and definitely my favorite kind of blues find at a record shop. All right, this one, for sentimental reasons, is probably my favorite thrift store find, and you're going to see why if you've been watching my channel. Yes, this was a thrift store find. This is Bert Jansch, Birthday Blues from 1969, my favorite Bert Jansch album. And of course, if you've been watching me, I absolutely adore Bert Jansch and have just been on a roll with him over the past year. When I saw this, I didn't know who this was. There were also Pentangle albums that I ended up picking up with this record, and a compilation Bert Jansch called Lucky 13, which I have, but it's not going to be shown here because same kind of idea. $1. Put this on the first time when I got home. Was thinking, I don't know if this is for me, this kind of like British folk sound, and went back to explore this album like a year later, and it just connected, and I got goosebumps listening to him, and it just felt right. That was the right moment to get into it. So I'm now absolutely in love with Bert Jansch and his music, and I'm a completist when it comes to him, so completely changed my musical path and musical journey. I am on a roll with the British folk scene right now. So Bert Jansch, Birthday Blues, probably my favorite find, but definitely in my top 10. For my funk and soul people out there, yes, $1, yes, the condition is as good as it looks. For $1, actually, I think this one was at the store that was more expensive. There's one store that it's $1.75. So, you know what? Right off the bat, I'm lying to you guys. $1.75. I got this record for $1.75, and this was the same haul that I got John Coltrane's Sonship for $1.75. I'm not going to be showing that in this video, so you jazz fans out there are probably thinking you got John Coltrane's Sonship for $1 and you're not showing it in your top thrift store $1 vinyl finds video. I'm sorry. Still cool. This one's cooler to me. But the Marvelettes, Please Mr. Postman, of course, this album from 1961, I believe. This is a reissue, a much later reissue from the 80s, but still extremely hard to come by, and I jumped on this right away. I could not believe it, and look at the condition. Like I said, yes, the condition is as good as it looks on camera. I don't know if you can see, but look at, I mean, for it being the age that it is, no ring wear, no, like, disgusting on the white. Just fantastic. Speaking of funk and soul goodness, this was a fun find. This one was a very exciting find for me because I absolutely love Sam and Dave. But of course we have Sam and Dave, Hold On, I'm Comin', Yellow Stax label, $1. This was an awesome find, and again, in unbelievable condition. Thelonious Monk's Dream. Now, I don't know a lot about jazz, and especially a year and a half ago, I did not know. I mean, I know a little bit more now, but at the time, not a lot. But of course, I knew this album, and not because I was familiar with it in terms of I've heard it before and explored it. I just knew it. This is just an album that anybody that collects vinyl just knows because they see it time and time again, especially in the vinyl community. So, of course, I knew this. I knew that this is an extremely popular jazz album. But the one thing that really turned me on to picking this up, especially for $1, 2i Columbia, OG. So, when I saw that, I said, I'm absolutely getting this. Usually, records that have the scratches that this one has on it, hairline, I tend to avoid. I'm very picky, even at thrift stores. I will leave decent albums behind, and some of you would probably kick me if you knew what I left behind. So I'm not gonna tell you. But I'm picky, and that's a good thing. And that's part of where I'm at in terms of my collection and what I want my collection to be, and what I want my collecting experience to be, and my listening experience, more importantly. But this is scratched up, okay? But for $1 and for what it is, I said I'm gonna pick this up. So I brought it back, gave it clean, and it's decent. It plays straight through, it doesn't skip. Obviously, for it being a jazz record, the pops and clicks kind of annoy me, but we're vinyl collectors after all, and popping and clicking, I guess, is just part of the experience sometimes. I don't know. But for $1, just a cool piece to have in the collection. I'll probably never see this again, especially at a thrift shop, so grabbed it. Pet Sounds, this is the duophonic version on the Rainbow Capital label. When I saw this, I walked in. This is like day number 3 of just striking out at this one particular store, and it was just sitting right at the front. And I'm thinking, the first thing that came to my mind was, it's not going to be in there. It's just going to be the cover, because that happens time and time again. You see a great album there, oh my goodness, it's the Beatles. All of a sudden you look in, wrong vinyl, or nothing in there, or the vinyl's like in pieces. So I'm like, it's not going to be in there. It was in there. And it was perfect. It was fine. So absolutely scooped this up. This is not my play copy. Not a fan of the sound of the duophonic, but still extremely cool to have in the collection, especially with how much I've been getting into the Beach Boys lately. This is a great addition. Also $1, I nearly myself at this. Black Sabbath, debut album, Green Warner Brothers label. This was part of a lot. I probably walked out with 15, maybe 20 records that day. Maybe even more, now that I'm thinking about it. I need to go back maybe and watch those videos. But I walked out with so much, because I'm telling you, it was at a Goodwill. Walked in. This is a Goodwill I always get lucky at. Walked in, I was flipping through. All of a sudden, a worker came through, from the back with just a cart full, and I just see this on top. I see Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, which I have back there. I can't believe I didn't show that. I just thought of that. I have a better one for that, though, for my estate sale finds video that I just decided I'm going to do. Bruce Springsteen, I almost completed my Bruce Springsteen collection with just this one cart. So all in fantasy, someone must have just dropped it off, which I don't know why, but just so many great titles. And this was a great addition. So a lot of people say this is the birthplace of heavy metal. I love this album just because of that bluesy kind of feel to it. So great stuff. All right, this one is just fun. This is the only signed record that I've gotten at a thrift store, so I definitely wanted to include it. You can't beat signed stuff. Carlos Montoya Flamenco guitar, signed by Carlos Montoya, I think. Obviously, it's not authenticated, but I mean, it clearly says Carlos Montoya. So if you're an authenticator and you want to tell me that that's his autograph, go ahead. But when I was at the store and I saw this and I looked on eBay and I saw their signatures, I'm like, that has to be it. I don't think anybody is going to be trying to replicate Carlos Montoya's signature to sell for $5 online. But just really cool. And actually, I have to say, this album overall is so fun. Flamenco guitar and world and Latin music is so fun, and I love it so much. And this was just such a cool find, so definitely makes my top list. Final two. This one has a story behind it, which is why I like it. Fairport Convention, of course, British folk rock. Now, this particular album, this is the cool story, okay? So I was watching Mazzy's video, Norman Maslow, here in the vinyl YouTube vinyl community. He was doing some sort of video, I can't even remember now, but he showed this album. Maybe it was albums that people need to listen to. And I was like, I never heard of that, and I typed a comment, okay, I'm gonna look this up and get it. And I was looking it up, and the price just wasn't there for me right now, and so I put it on my want list, okay? Less than 24 hours later, I think I watched that at nighttime, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Woke up, went hunting for vinyl. This is a true story. Found Sam and Dave. Hold on, I'm coming. Found this. Not even 24 hours after Mazzy showed this and said, this is an album everybody needs. And I said, okay, I'm going to put this on my want list. Anyway, I was speechless. So there's my story. Just blows me away every time I think about it because it was really bizarre. I know it. You probably are thinking whatever, but it was extremely bizarre coming from my standpoint. The last one, Flying Burrito Bros, Burrito Deluxe. Yes, $1. Yes, Graham Parsons. Yes, Wild Horses. If you know about this album, you understood everything I just said. Of course, Wild Horses from the Rolling Stones, Richards and Jagger tune. It premiered, I guess, on this album for the first time. It was on an album on this one. So before it was even on, I think, Sticky Fingers. So there's some cool backstory for you. Just a great find for $1. This usually runs $30, I think. Good deal. Those are my top 10 favorite thrift store vinyl finds. So besides the Marvelettes, which I'm sorry, that was $1.75 now that I'm thinking about it, everything else was $1, and all of those records are just in fantastic shape. Except Monk's Dream, but I'll let that go because of the 2i part of it. With that, everybody, hope you're all doing well, and I will see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.